In anticipation for the release of Black Ops 6 Zombies, today I'm going to be playing the custom map in Black Ops 1 called Battery, based on the similar Battery multiplayer map by the same name from World at War, because as it turns out, Terminus is actually loosely based on this Battery map from all the way back in the day. Now, I've already talked more about this in prior videos. I did one video where I briefly mentioned it within my gameplay breakdown of Black Ops 6 Zombies, and then I did another video where I had about 20 odd minutes of gameplay and I just talked about the map whilst watching it and comparing and stuff like that. Now, like I talked about in those videos, it's of course not a one-to-one recreation by any means. However, it does seem to be heavily inspired, with the watchout towers being quite similar, as well as the AA turrets, and the overall evolution of the map seems quite similar. However, Terminus does seem to be quite a significant amount more layered, with an elevator that apparently takes you between the different levels. It does seem quite complex. In the last video though, like I said, I just watched some gameplay and talked about the map, so in this video I want to play it for myself this time around. Now, on screen right now you can see the link, which will be in this video's description if you want to play the map for yourself, as well as all of the creators of the map. And I do wonder, when Treyarch designed Terminus, if they've taken any inspiration from this custom map or tried to pay homage to it in any way, considering it is taking loose inspiration, and Treyarch definitely know of this map. Now, before I jump into the gameplay, I do want to say that I'm going to be using a software called Innit Audio, who have kindly sponsored this video that I will be talking about later on in this video. And basically this software is really useful because it enhances the audio quality to make it sound more realistic and dynamic. And it's not just for gaming, it's also for listening to music, podcasts, whatever the case may be. It's for all different types of audio. But like I said, I'll talk more about it later in this video. With that being said, let's jump into Battery now. Okay, so here we are on round one, and like I said, I have already pretty much gone through this entire map, and to be honest, in this video, I'm not going to be playing for particularly long. I'm not going to be trying to go into the high rounds. I mean, I already went to around round 20 in that past gameplay. Now, there is an Easter egg on this map as well, and I'm not going to do the Easter egg in this video. I don't even know what the steps are. I've not really looked up too much regarding this map. I just thought it would be a bit of an interesting video to sort of discuss with you whilst I am playing the map live and experiencing the map, because it is going to be so similar to Terminus. Now, I want to talk a little bit in this video about some new information that's been released surrounding Black Ops 6 Zombies as well whilst we are playing. And the first thing is that a new Miller audio was added to Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, where she confirms that she was, of course, a child on Liberty Falls, the other launch map, when the zombie outbreak initially began. However, she's given us some new information. We already knew that happened, but she's let us know that Liberty Falls is actually going to be set in 1991 and not 1990 like we previously thought, because, of course, at the end of Black Ops Cold War Zombies, we get a 5-year time jump. It says 5 years later, where we see Peck is collecting a boat in the Pacific to head to Terminus, and that's the setup for the map. Dr. Peck is going to be trying to rescue the Requiem heads that were basically apprehended and kept in an underground prison on Terminus. And yeah, you can kind of get a really good idea of Terminus from this map. Like I said, of course it's not going to be exactly the same, but you kind of get an idea, because it's going to be on this guarded prison with an underground laboratory on an island that's going to be quite similar. And Peck's going to be heading there on a boat. Now, of course, we know we have a crew on Terminus, which are going to be the Requiem heads, which are, of course, Weaver, Carver, Dr. Gray, and instead of Strauss, we don't know where Strauss is on the map. Maybe he's high on Ethereum or something like that, or maybe it's just because he is so old, of course, by 1991. Maybe he's just too old to be able to play, and instead we're going to be having a new character called Maya joining us. We know she's going to be helping Dr. Peck break the Requiem heads out, but she also has her own motivations, and I speculated in that last video maybe that motivation is that she has a family member, a sibling, or something like that. Maybe is also similarly being kept in this prison along with the Requiem heads, and she's going to be trying to break them out, in turn also breaking the Requiem heads out. But like I said, Miller's confirmed the map's going to be set in 1991. Oh, there's double points over there. I almost missed that. Not 1990 like we previously thought. And it's only a slight difference. Of course, when we saw 5 years later on Forsaken, we just assumed it would be directly in 1990. However, as many people have pointed out in my comment section, Forsaken is of course set in June 4th, which means that any point before June 4th, 1991 can technically be considered 5 years later, although it may be slightly more. But what this means is that we know Black Ops 6's campaign is going to be set in 1991 as well, the majority of it, so that means the two are going to be set very close to each other, and the reason why we know Terminus is going to be on 1991 and not just Liberty Falls is because Treyarch have already confirmed to the YouTubers who got to play early that Liberty Falls and also Terminus are going to be taking place simultaneously. So the Easter eggs are probably going to intercept and coincide, but I'm guessing that the zombie outbreak actually begins on Liberty Falls first, since that's probably where Richtofen has built a large Dark Ether gateway for Project Janus, and most likely he activates this gateway or cyclotron or whatever, and it causes a zombie outbreak across the world because, of course, the zombie outbreak zones got contained at the end of Forsaken when Samantha trapped the Forsaken in the containment chamber, but for Project Janus, Richtofen has most likely reactivated the veil between the Dark Ether and the regular world, and that is causing the zombies to flood back out again. And of course, in the first Outbreak quest, in Cold War Zombies, Ravenov and Samantha Maxis diverted Ethereum missiles, the inversion warheads, into the Pacific Ocean. Now, whilst it's not the exact point of Terminus, it means that probably somewhere far out in the Pacific is a weak spot between the Dark Ether and our world, and that is probably why the zombies come to Terminus and Liberty Falls and probably other spots around the globe where there are Dark Ether weak spots, which we actually learned from Vanguard Zombies. Vanguard Zombies did provide us quite a bit of lore, interesting information actually, even though, you know, the overarching story didn't really have much to do with the overarching plot of Cold War Zombies and the Dark Ether story in general, but we learned that spots on Earth where there have been lots of death, for example, in World War II, in concentration camps or something like that, areas where there's been massive amounts of death is where the weak points between the world and the Dark Ether is stronger, which is interesting because it makes you think, well, what happened at Naktoruntoten in Morosco, considering that's where the zombies initially break out, thanks to the cyclotron there. There was probably some kind of atrocity there. I mean, I've even speculated in prior videos that could actually be the spot near Tunguska, where, of course, Ultimus and Primus end up dying in the forest at the end of Tag de Toten. Maybe that's the spot, which would totally explain, and we just went down, but I have a quick revive. It's kind of hard to play and talk at the same time, which is why last time I just had some pre-recorded gameplay, and I just talked over it, because I don't really do live gameplay on my channel a lot, of course, I just kind of do news. You've probably seen from my gameplay in the background that I'm playing extremely poorly. I'm kind of just going in circles. And it's a very hot day, by the way, if you're wondering why I'm sweating so much. I'm kind of not really showing the map much, to be honest, which is my bad. I'm kind of just talking quite a bit. Now, before I continue with the rest of the gameplay, I first have a very awesome message to share with you. Like I said, I mentioned Innit audio at the beginning of this video, but now I'm going to show you a more in-depth look, so stay tuned. As I mentioned at the start of this video, I want to tell you more about Innit audio, perfect for gamers, music lovers, and movie buffs. It's truly game-changing for your audio experience. Innit is an incredible software that recreates true aural reality, making every sound in your headset more lifelike, crisp, and clear. Whether you are diving into your favorite games, listening to music, or watching movies, Innit enhances the audio to a whole new level. Currently available for PC and works with all headsets, headphones and earphones. It runs on any PC with Windows 10 version 1809 and newer and Windows 11. What's more is that Innit is in early access right now and you can try it for free for 14 days with no payment or account creation required. So you might as well give it a shot. After that it's just $3.99 a month, or much cheaper if you go with one of their other bundle models, or you can do a one-time payment to get it for life. A small price to pay for such a massive upgrade to your audio experience. So let's dive into the power of Innit. When you turn it on, you will notice the truly immersive and realistic audio. Sounds are positioned with unprecedented accuracy, making every game detail feel like it's happening around you, not just inside your headset. You get clear and accurate directional audio, which means you'll never miss vital information like enemy footsteps, your teammate's location, or if a zombie is behind you. Trust me, once you turn Innit on, you'll never want to turn it off. I've been using Innit for a while now, and it's a fantastic tool to be more in-depth and entrenched in your game. The quality is outstanding. Since I got it, my gaming experience has completely changed, and as the software is being consistently developed, I'm sure there will be even more improvements to increase the quality of the sound. For a competitive edge in games like Escape from Tarkov, Counter-Strike, PUBG and Call of Duty, Innit is your secret weapon. You can pinpoint enemy footsteps, distant reloads and subtle movements, giving you the upper hand in every match. Out here, outplay and outlive your opponents, and move up the ladder with confidence and accuracy. And it's not just for gaming. If you're producing music, watching movies, or just enjoying your favourite tunes, Innit transforms your experience. It crafts a 360x360 3D spatial sound field, enveloping you in a sphere of hyper-realistic audio. Every sound tells a story, turning your headset into a gateway to worlds where the line between your computer and reality disappears. Every sound, every movie, every TV show sounds so much more realistic and better with this software, so what are you waiting for? Visit Innit Audio's website via the link in the description, try the 14-day trial now, and join the audio revolution. Like I said, try it out with no payments or account creation required. There's nothing to lose. Trust me, a new world of sound awaits. Elevate your entertainment, enrich your music, and transform your gaming sessions into even more unforgettable experiences. And I want to give a huge thank you to them once again for kindly sponsoring this video. But yeah, I'm really interested about these AA turrets. There's many of them on this, and of course we know there's going to be a Dark Ether turret on Terminus. And maybe this is to fight some sort of giant squid or a giant shark or something like that in the Easter egg boss fight. It does seem like it's just going to function like a trap on the map though. But what this means is that Richtofen, if he had this turret created, because he is of course the controller on Terminus, it means that he anticipated the zombie outbreak, which makes me think that, yes, he is the one responsible for activating the cyclotron on Liberty Falls. And that's probably why he started guarding Terminus. But the thing is, now that we know that Terminus is going to be set in 1991, it makes sense about the date discrepancy that I talked about before, because if you're unaware, we learn of Jack Fletcher's bio in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies that he enlisted for the CIA on Terminus Island from 1991 to when he was then discharged in 1993. And in prior videos I talked about the dates don't really line up here because we thought Terminus would be on 1990 before, so I thought, you know, maybe the Requiem heads are successfully evacuated by Maya and Peck on this map in 1990, and then afterwards, Richtofen further guards the island after they are broken out. However, it does seem like Fletcher's probably enlisted here in 1991, probably whilst the map is actually set, which means that it's very likely we're going to see Jack Fletcher on the map, maybe as an NPC or something like that. I really need to get a weapon here. Yeah, it's very likely we're going to see Jack Fletcher in some way, like I said, on the map, and I'm playing absolutely terribly. Let me grab this. But yeah, what I wanted to say is that, of course, because Richtofen had the Requiem heads imprisoned here, it means that he probably had soldiers on this map guarding it, of course. So I don't really know how the guards let their cover down to allow the Requiem heads to escape when Peck and Maya come here to break them out. Unless it's because the zombie outbreak starts and maybe they kill the guards on the map apart from Fletcher or something like that, and maybe that then allows them to get out. But apparently in the files of the game, and this is concerning a lot of people, in the files of Modern Warfare in Call of Duty HQ, since all CODs now are on a unified engine, people have found NPCs in the files and references to being able to rescue survivors, similar to what we had in Exo Zombies and stuff like that. Now, previously, people thought this was upcoming content for Modern Warfare Zombies or scrapped content for that, but apparently it's actually for Black Ops 6 Zombies. Now, people think this might be for Liberty Falls because we know there's not going to be a set crew for that map. You're just going to be able to play as operators, as an elite unit is sent in to investigate the site. So maybe Richtofen activates the cyclotron and then he sends in soldiers afterwards to investigate after Miller manages to escape. Her father, we know, turns into a zombie from that radio that was added. We don't know what happens to her mum, but her mum might perish too. And we know, of course, lots of people who ended up staying in Liberty Falls get killed by the zombies. But it's interesting because Richtofen actually started moving the civilians out of Liberty Falls in 1985, which means that by 1991 he's unsuccessful in moving them all out because apparently they were asserting their rights as American citizens, and in turn they end up being killed, or at least some of them, by the zombies. Miller manages to survive, but very few do. So yeah, soldiers are sent in, which explains why we're playing as operators on the map, and maybe there's going to be NPCs as well. Maybe it makes sense though, because the zombie outbreak starts and there's all these civilians that have been living in the town all this time. That basically what happens is they refuse to leave, so it makes sense that there's little side quests on the map and stuff like that to evacuate survivors. I just hope that it doesn't impede on the regular gameplay. If it's part of the main Easter egg, that's completely fine. I just don't want it to be part of the actual core gameplay, because people hate forced objectives. They hated it in Exo Zombies. They don't really like it. Makes sense for Modern Warfare Zombies and Outbreak to have objectives because it's like an open world style gameplay, but Liberty Falls is round based, so I really hope it's not too intrusive on the gameplay. Of course, on Firebase C we had the milestone round where you would fight Order. That was totally fine. It would happen every now and again, and I thought that was quite intense and fun. But I don't want to see that. I don't want to see it in Liberty Falls. But the reason why I mention these NPCs and rescuing survivors and things like that is, what if it's also on Terminus? Because if there's guards on the map such as Fletcher and potentially others, then there can also be potentially similar stuff on this map. And I hope we don't have NPC soldiers that fight you and can shoot at you. That would be so frustrating. We have it in Modern Warfare Zombies, and I personally think it's a bit annoying, but it's an open world experience, so it's not too bad. It's very different to round based, and I'm kind of getting lost here. I'm just concentrating on what I'm actually trying to say. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments on that. I really hope we don't have NPC soldiers that can shoot at you. And like I said, it's been found in the files, so it has me really worried. I just hope that we're either misinterpreting stuff in the files, it could be left over. Maybe Treyarch were planning on doing an Outbreak 2, but it got cancelled for Black Ops 6 Zombies because it seems like they're just focusing on round base. I totally think that Treyarch probably want to do an Outbreak 2. Maybe we'll see that in COD 2025, the Black Ops 2 sequel that's rumoured, alongside round base simultaneously like we had with Cold War. I'm guessing that Treyarch planned to do Outbreak and round base for COD 2024, but when it got pushed back and then they were forced to make Modern Warfare Zombies instead, they probably moved those resources and reused them for Modern Warfare Zombies instead. The Dark Ether cannon, which there's a cannon here, that is going to be a trap on on Terminus, is going to be a trap that kind of acts like a magnet and sucks up the zombies. But like I said, maybe there's maybe you can turn that cannon into something you can actually fight as a boss with, or maybe there's more cannons on the map. Some of them might act differently, like shoot a direct laser or something, or maybe there's different settings on it. But it does seem like Liberty Falls, obviously on this map, on Battery, you start on top of the island. However, it does seem like on Terminus, the spawn's going to be the underground prison, because we see in the little short gameplay teaser there is a Dark Ether arrow, and we do also see the Rampage Inducer is returning by it, so that seems to be the spawn. And then this spot, which I'll be showing a little gameplay snippet of on screen, probably is right after you exit the spawn and you make your way out and onto the main sort of more industrial side of the island. I wonder what Dark Ether experiments Richtofen was doing here and stuff like that. But yeah, 1991 instead, which means there's probably not going to be any tie-ins with the campaign like I previously thought, if they were all going to be set in different eras. But we know that the game Zombies at least is not just going to be 1991. Of course, in the DLC it will continue for longer. Now I do wonder, because Maya and also Dr. Peck are heading here on a boat, I do wonder if the boat gets stopped by Fletcher and co. Because, you know, we have all of these boats crashed outside the map here. And I wonder if that's going to be a similar setup on Terminus, where, you know, maybe at the start of the map, in the intro cutscene, we see Peck heading here. He ends up getting shot at by Fletcher or potentially other Richtofen guards on the map. And they end up stopping the boat. It crashes into the side or something like that, and then that kind of starts the map. It does seem like the boat's going to actually be a playable area part of the map as well, judging from data mined information. And I wonder how that's going to function. Maybe there's a portal that teleports you between the two different spots. And, oh, it's getting very tight here. And yeah, I'm really excited for this Easter egg. Terminus is, of course, going to be the much harder map, with Liberty Falls being the easier one. And speaking of other new information, we have recently heard information about the Season 5 story mission for Modern Warfare Zombies. It's going to be coming in the Reloaded update, the final one. We still have quite a bit longer to wait for it. And apparently it's been found in the files. We are going to be fighting the Entity as a boss fight, like we kind of started to do in the last one in Season 3. It does seem like this will be the final story mission, though. And yeah, maybe Ava and the Entity reform and combine as one. We managed to defeat the Entity, and maybe that leaves us on a cliffhanger. Maybe Richtofen's revealed to be behind the scenes in Modern Warfare Zombies, or maybe even his son that we've speculated about could be revealed. Maybe Ravenov's going to get killed by Ava or / the Entity if they reform, because it's been foreshadowed so much. I just wonder how everything's going to tie into Modern Warfare, into Black Ops 6 Zombies, and why Richtofen forced Ava to be born as a surrogacy of Ravenov and Samantha's DNA being combined and implanted inside of Dr. Gray. There's got to be a big reason for that, and I really do wonder. And here comes the goddamn Panzer, and I have like no perks. I'm probably going to die soon. But you've gotten a general overview of the map, a general look at it. I will leave a link to my previous video in the description if you would like to check that out. And we don't even have the power on. Here is Jug, though. The freaking Panzer is right behind. Yeah, I'm kind of getting a bit lost here. Losing my train of thought. Yeah, I'm really looking forward. Liberty Falls is going to be the easier map, with Terminus being the harder one. And yeah, we just died there, so I'm just going to... I guess I still have quick revive, so I can still survive. Let me up. What was I saying? Yeah, Terminus is going to be a lot harder. As you can see from this battery map, of course, it's going to be very similar to this, but it's not going to be exact. There are a lot of very open spaces on this battery map, and yes, we're dead now. You got a kind of overview of the map, and I got to say what I wanted to say. But yeah, what I was saying was... you know, there's a lot of very close quarter sections of the map, and from the gameplay we've gotten to Terminus, it does seem very close quarters, whereas Liberty Falls is probably going to be a much more easier layout. That's how it's been described to the YouTubers, a very simple layout, quite an open map in the West Virginia town, whereas this map's going to be very close, dense, with lots of shafts and stuff like that. And yeah, like I said, I wonder if we just start off on a boat similar to this, and I wonder how much inspiration Treyarch have taken from Battery, and if there's any Easter eggs or paying homage to Battery, you know, from back in the day. At all. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this map? And like I said, you can check it out via the link in the description. I definitely think it's worth playing in preparation for playing Terminus. Like I said, they're not going to be exact. I doubt Terminus, for example, is going to have big open areas like this, because it's being described as being a much harder map, and the Easter eggs probably going to be quite difficult, involving puzzles, more like classic Zombies Easter eggs, whereas the Liberty Falls Easter eggs probably going to be quite straightforward. What do you think as well of these maps being set in 1991 instead of 1990 like we previously thought? I made a whole video going over the timeline of key events between from Vanguard, Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, and Cold War Zombies that you need to know for Black Ops 6 Zombies, so I guess that's a slight error in there. It doesn't make, you know, a massive difference to the overarching story, but I'm sure there's a reason Treyarch chose 1991 specifically instead of 1990 like we previously thought. Maybe they were going to go for 1990 at some point, but they ended up changing their plans for whatever reason. I'm not exactly sure. But let me know in the comments, what do you think of all of this? And yeah, yeah, I wonder if there's going to be like bombs and all sorts of stuff. I'm so excited for Terminus. I mean, the atmosphere is going to be kind of like this with the industrial setting, but of course it's in the Pacific. We know there's like palm trees and more of a jungle atmosphere, which is very different. And yeah, I wonder if someone can create a battery custom map for Black Ops 3 Zombies and maybe incorporate the Cold War Zombies features and mechanics as well, because it does seem like Black Ops 6 Zombies is going to be using a lot of similar systems to Cold War Zombies with the armor, with you know, having things like salvage and the weapon upgrade station and stuff like that. Now, another interesting thing is that I've talked about previously about the perks in Black Ops 6 Zombies. Now, we don't know what perks are going to be in this game exactly, or whether there's going to be perk upgrades like we had in Cold War Zombies. I hope there is in some way, shape or form, even if they don't do it via the Ethereum upgrades, via some other method. But on Kevin Drew's desk in the Black Ops 6 Zombies reveal, there were some perks shown, which we believe to be Speed Cola, Quick Revive, Juggernog, and then there was one which I mentioned might be Tombstone or something, but it's definitely Double Tap. So it seems like Double Tap might be back. Now, in the files of the game, apparently all of the ones from Cold War Zombies has been found. Now, of course, Double Tap was planned for Cold War Zombies. The Dark Ether music variant was even found in the files, but it ended up getting cancelled and swapped out for Death of Perception. So we might finally be seeing Double Tap back after all these years, but I wonder how they're going to balance it, because they're probably not going to do it like Double Tap 2.0, where you can do double damage as well as double fire rate. They thought it was too overpowered and too much of a crutch back in the day, which is why they stopped adding it. So I'm wondering how they're going to do it. Maybe just like 1.5 times damage or something. I'm really interested. I mean, it kind of does what similar to what Pack-a-Punching or upgrading your weapon tier does anyways, which is why they probably removed it. So I am wondering how they're going to alter Double Tap, especially if they have perk upgrades again. It means that it might have many different effects that I didn't have previously. So let me know in the comments, how do you think Double Tap will be introduced if they do bring it back? And I also wonder why on Kevin Drew's desk they were bottles again. So is this implying that perk bottles are going to be returning once again instead of cans like in Cold War Zombies and also Modern Warfare Zombies? Or maybe it's just that this was just a teaser and it's not actually hinting at the bottles returning. Honestly, I don't mind if they're bottles or cans. I don't think it makes too big of a difference. Of course, with the cans, though, you can drink them whilst running, which I guess makes it a bit easier. But it's been said that the Pack-a-Punch knuckle crack animation is going to be returning for Black Ops 6 Zombies. We don't know if there's going to be a menu pop-up as well, which apparently there might be. So they might have both. And if so, if they're bringing back that classic knuckle crack animation, they might be bringing back the classic perks, having bottles again instead of the cans. But like I said, I don't think it really makes a difference whether they're cans or bottles, to be honest. But yeah, that's all I wanted to mention there. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say in this video. Thank you for watching the video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.